This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, so today I'm teaching you Python, but tomorrow you may get any other scripting languages or programming language to be used in your project. So how do you deal with it? So there's so many languages which we have, and we have to get comfortable with each programming languages. So some of the things which I can share with you at a high level. So that is like types of languages. So let's say earlier we had a compile language. Okay, compile language. Now compiled language, which is basically Java and C++. C Sharp is also a compile language. Correct. So these are the language C, C++, C Sharp. All these were the languages, which is compile language. Compile means you write a code, and that code cannot be used to run. You have to convert it to you have to convert into binaries. You have to compile it and then convert into binaries. So that is how we used to do that. These languages also are strong typed language. Strong typed language means there's a variable type, right? Variable type. So whatever the variable you use in these languages are very strongly, you have to, I mean, each variable you have to have defined with the supported variables itself, otherwise it will not work. So strong typed language which we had. Later on, we got interpreted language. Interpreted language. Now, when we say interpreted language, many languages we have. For example, Python, we have interpreted language. And then we have PHP, we have Perl, right? So these are the languages which has been developed for interpreted language. That means you don't need to compile it. Compilation and interpretations will happen both at the same time. So as part of our session, we are learning the Python. And now after that interpreted language, you see the transformation has come for declarative language. Okay, declarative. Language. Now, declarative language means, see the evolution, how it has happened. So we got a Java, we got Python. So we have reached to a point, okay, we have reached to a point where no additional functionality is written actually. Means we are, see, you want the milling functionality. So for milling functionality, you want, you don't have to write a code for it. You just go and incorporate it. Whatever you want, you declare that in a simple way, and the framework will give you those stuff, or maybe chatting functionality or any other feature as such. So we started with the internet. We started reusing the code rather than rewriting. So we started declaring the desire. So that's with help of declarative language. So some of the earliest declarative language we had is XML, and then we had YAML, we have JSON, we have. So these are the declarative language, right? So you should know that at least once from each category. And when I say no, that means I'm not asking you to develop a software. All I'm asking is to know how to write a fundamental code, one basic code For example, how to write one code, how to compile it, how to run it, how to package it, how to deploy it, how to run it, understanding the GRE and all, runtime environment. Same goes with the Python also. Python, you have to do maybe scripting system. See, Python can be used for system scripting also, and it can be used for the software development also. So both way you can, get comfortable. These languages you need to know in XML, YAML, and JSON. Let's say I'll teach you Maven as part of it. Yeah, can you let me mute all? Yeah. So here, declarative language which we are going to do that here is XML. XML is a declarative language we are going to use with Maven, but YAML is more used in DevOps. Let's say you write a Docker component, Kubernetes and all, Helm and all. So we are going to use YAML a lot in that case. Ansible also we are going to use YAML. So you get comfortable. So my suggestion, though it's learning everything is good, but my suggestion, at least know Java world. Interpreted language, you just know Python. And then in the declarative languages, though depends on the project, but YAML is more often used. So this should be a focus area actually. Out of which Python I'll teach you, and YAML will use on our training for multiple tools and technology. So any questions so far, all of you?
No, Rajesh.
Okay, so now the question is how to learn any programming languages. Any programming languages means, let's say someone was asking yesterday, shell scripting. Some of you may have in Ruby. Ruby also is interpreted one. Some of you say I need to know Java, C++, or .NET or something like that. Anything, correct? So how to learn these languages? So basically, learning is very easy, okay? And practice, which takes times, and with learning plus practice, you become an expert. So practice, the only one thing, only one person can do, that is you. But learning somewhere, I can help you with it. So any programming languages which you learn, first learn that few things. That means how to install compiler, and interpreter. And I don't think so. This is very big task. Just 5-10 minutes of work and that's done. Thousands of tutorials you'll get on Google also. But think of it. Let's say you want to learn Java, right? Install compiler, JDK. So compiler is different, interpreter is different. Interpreter means runtime. So here, let's say if it's Java, so you have a JRE, JDK, and interpreter JRE. Python, we have a both combined, right? So like that, YAML is not needed anything. So how to install compiler? Just you'll do that. Then second thing, how to store file, store code. How to store? So in Java we use Java. In Python we use Python. In YAML we use YAML, right? So just you need to learn these are the small things. Then next question I will ask to my mind, how to run, how to compile first thing, because compile language you have to compile first, right? So how to compile? So one programming language is a Java. So Java and .java compile. Okay. Now you will ask, okay, here I compiled one file. One file I compiled, but I want to compile thousands of files. So what to do? Do we have any automation? That's where the and, Maven, Gradle will come into the picture, right? So Maven and Gradle is a part of our course. I'll teach you. Okay, but this is how you do that. Now, next question you will have to do: how to run code. How to run code. How to run code. Just give me 2 seconds, guys.
This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, sorry about that. So I was talking about the running the code, right? So how to run a code? How to run the code? So let's say if you're running the code, Java code, Java and binary, whatever the class file you will have, correct? And let's say if you're running the code in Python, and then file.python, correct? So at least so far, these are some of the basics things you got to know, correct? All of you, right? What do you think? Am I audible, right?
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay, so after that, next thing you should target, you should think, okay, fine, I understood this. How to install the programming language environment, how to write a code in which file, how to compile it, and how to run the code. After that, next question you should ask in your mind, how to write a code, that Java file or class Python file. So right now I'm not teaching you Python, but I'm just giving you the framework to learn. So how to write a code? So first learn the very first thing, you learn the variable used in language. Now what is a variable? See, every languages we have a variable. Okay, every languages we have a variable. Variables, which is you want to express something like this, 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 correct now? So in the computer world, either you use, what is this called? What is this called? All of you?
Integer. Integer.
Number, yeah, number. Integer, yeah, integer also you can call it. What is this?
String.
String, always should be in a quote. What is this?
Array.
Array, list. In our school days, we learned this is a list, correct? In our Java world, we learned array. In Python, we started calling back to list only, right? And this is a dictionary, correct? Dictionary. So these are the types of data we use in the programming language also. But these are the different types of data. So for these different types of data, we have a different types of variables also. Types of variables. Okay. So first you should target on the types of variable. And every language you have a types of variable. Java, C++, Python, PHP, Perl. Okay, YAML also have some types of variable. I'll show you. Every languages you have a types of variable. Okay, so that is the thing. So first you learn the types of variable. Then next question you should ask, okay, what should I do to with these variables? Variables means you are storing the value. Let's say this value in a computer memory. Computer memory. I'll give you in a simple way. Let's say if I'll ask you to remember this number, and just today I'll ask you to remember this, okay, this number, and tomorrow if I ask you, hey, tomorrow or day after 2 days, can you tell me this number? Will you remember that? Your memory? No, it's very difficult to store this value for the human minds. So what typically we human do? We give the name. Our minds is designed. Our human minds are designed to store the name easily. So, for example, if I tell you this is the address of a city called, let's say, Bokaro in India. So then you probably will remember this one. The chances of remembering this one is more, right? So same way, anything which you want to store in the memory of computer, okay, you need to tell computer, hey, store lots of data. It can be more data also, but I will, if I want that data, I will say this. I'll say this, or I'll say only name. Okay, simple, because we are lazy people. We are having limitation. Not computer is having limitation. So here, this is a list. This is a dictionary. This is for us. We want to use variable for us only, not for anything else. So when we call this one, all this will come. When we call this one, all these things will come. So types of variable used in any languages. Now next one you should do. What should I do with the variables? These are the types of variables. That is where that operators comes into the picture. Operators means in school also we have studied the same thing. Operators means arithmetic operator, comparison operator, right? Many different kind of bitwise operator, logical operator. So many operators are there. So arithmetic operator I'm using and comparison operator I'm using, so you can correlate. Arithmetic means plus, minus, mod, division, all these things. Comparison operator means is equal to, not equal to, not equal to, greater, lesser, all these things. So you will do something on the variables using operators. Okay, so that's the second area you should learn. Target learning operators. Let's say you learn these variables also, types of variables also, and operators also. What is the third thing you should target? Third thing you should target, conditioning. Conditioning. Conditioning means you are telling a computer, hey, because computer, you cannot talk every time. Think simple, okay? You cannot keep talking every time. You will say, I will talk once, I'll give you complete instruction, and you do keep running in your behalf on whatever way. So that's where the conditioning required. Okay, conditioning means if this is the scenario, do this, else do this. So I'm informing a computer much in advance. Okay, run only based on the scenarios. Don't run everything. I don't want to run every program of my software. Only if it is asked, only if it is requested, then do this. So this is the conditioning. If else, typically we understand that very simple. So every programming language you do have a conditioning also. Then try to learn the looping. Looping or iterative also we call it. Looping means some of the things I want to run multiple times. Okay, simple. Some of the things, some of the code, some of the lines of code, some of the logic I want to run multiple times. 4 times, 5 times, 100 times, 2000 times. So computer, I want to inform a computer. This code you have to run this many times. That's where that we use most of the time for, and we set the boundary also. Start with I is equal to 0 or 1, and it should be I is equal to less than 20. So run this one, and what do this? We use for and while also for that. Very popular looping one. All programming language almost you find for and while. Syntax little bit different, but you will find it for sure. So you learn this conditioning, how to condition the program. You learn looping also to run multiple times. So these are the things you have to target any programming languages. Are you able to understand all of you?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. So now bring your management skills. Management skills. You started, see, with this, you are already writing the program. You are writing the program. Okay, that's all you need to know. Looping, conditioning, operators, and variable types. That's all. And then you are able to write the program. Then management skills required from you. Management skills means how to manage a large program. Okay, and I know that we humans are very good in terms of managing, correct? So how to manage the large program. So let me put it up in this way. Tell me which one you prefer. 5,000 lines of code in one file, and you're calling entire file at once. So all code, think simple, okay? All code would run on each call, which you don't want. You have 5,000 lines of code in a file, and if you want to run only one part of the code, you have to run entire file at once, and it will run all the code and stuff like that. This is not good practice. Why is not good practice? See, we did first thing, you didn't want it to run entire code. Second thing, it will consume memory and CPU also, because maybe some of that time the running the code is not harm for you, but it will consume the CPU and RAM for sure, right? Don't you think so? Don't you think so? All of you?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So what is the solution? Management skills. What is the solution? I'll put it in a simple way. Let's say each one of you are a CTO of your company or CEO of the company. And how many employees you have? 200 employees. So do you want all 200 employees to report to you?
No. So we
Then
break them down into team, maybe into group.
group, yeah.
So that each
Group
of
of
the group
team.
now have to have leader, yes.
Yeah, group of people, teams, project, different, you divide all this stuff, right? So something similar we have to do with the code also. But in a code, what we call it? Function. We call it function. Is equal to method also. In Java, we call it a method. In Python, we call it a function. Function means, I think in one of my organizations, each department we used to call it function, billing function, like that. Okay, and account function, IT functions. So it's like a one function for one thing. So same thing we do in the coding also. What we do, we have too many lines of code. We don't want to run all at a time. So what do? We divide the similar code and put it in a function. Line number 1, line number 2, line number 100, all these things. So we divide into function. Okay, so this is the function is equal to Ramu Kaka. So those who are not knowing, the Ramu Kaka is one of the popular phrases in India for naming your caretaker, male caretaker actually. Yeah. So this is a function. Ramu Kaka will do this many things. Function. So how many function you can create? It's up to you. See, no one is going to teach you how to manage the code. You have to learn yourself. How many function you create? One function or 50 functions? You decide. Okay. You decide. So depends. Okay. So this is the function. So you have to convert your program into the function. So functions should, functions are like, no matter how many programs you write, you will give one input to the function, input to function, and then you'll get output from function. That's all. So you see, design in a certain way is a function. No one is, again I'm repeating, no one will teach you. You have to design, you have to explode your mind how to create a functions, each and everything. I should don't. So now you call the function, input to the function, call the function. So now see here, if you have divided your 5,000 lines of code into the function, so you can call only that function. How to call that function? Ramu Kaka, this one. This is a function call. I mean, different programming language will have a different ways to call the function, but that's not a problem. Think theoretical stuff. Ramu Kaka. Now you want to pass the parameter. Now parameter input, you want to give name. The output will give you. Like say you are typing name Raj, and output will give you complete detail of Raj. So this is like that. Return value we call it. In return input and return value. Okay, wonderful. So now one management skills you learn, that is like calling into the function. Now what to do? Now see, having a 5,000 lines of code in one file. So let's say if you divide into your management skill, think simple, okay? Management skills, maybe you have hundreds of functions in one. Maybe you created 100 function in one file. Do you think writing 100 function in one file is easy for your mind? Think simple. Think simple all the time. Let's say human mind is equal to one file. I'll give you 100 functions. Okay, 5,000 lines of code, 100 functions. Or I'll give you like a 10 file, and each file will have a 10 function. So human mind, which is easier to read, whether 10 files 10 function or one file 100 function? Tell me.
This is the first.
You are thinking about the first situation? One file you have one function, or 10 files you have a 10 function. Each will have a 10 function.
Second option.
Second option. Let's look at this. My mind, what it says. See, I don't keep it everything in one file. See here. Multiple files I've created. I could have put it everything in one file also, right? But my mind is not designed for that. I keep it in different file. Why? You know that answer. And then folders also is coming accordingly. See, I could have kept everything in one file, everything in one folder. Why I'm not keeping it? Because I'll get mad actually. Because my mind is not designed for that. I'm not sure about you guys, but I feel comfortable with this one. Do you? So guys, if you have something like that, then what you'll do, you will convert this file, one file, to multiple file. Okay, think simple. So you will have a code in not in one file now, you will have in multiple file. Okay, so now what to do? You have a file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4, file 5, file 6 for each and everything. Now, naming I'm not giving properly right now. You should give as per the functions. 7, 8. What I will do? So guys, if you run the software, which file to call? See, earlier it was easy for me. See here. When we are running the file, I was running this file, which is a Python file or Java file, only one file. But this time you have so many files. You know what? You may have hundreds of files, 505, 1,000 files. So what to do? So when I want to run the software, run a software, think simple. Which file to call? Which file to call? That is where what we started doing. We started calling, hey, we'll call file 1. Think simple. We'll call file 1. But the file 1 is using some of the functionality for file 2 and file 3. Now file 4 is using some of the functionality for this and this. File 6 is using some of the functionality like this and this. And that is where that one thing will happen. You might have seen it. Import or include. Have you seen this statement in the coding? All of you?
Yes.
Okay. So let me show you here some code. Simple Java code with import. Just for visualizations. See, this is the code. This is the code. This is one file. Okay. And here, this is this one function. This is one function. Okay. Inside that, they are calling the other functions also. This is also more functions. Okay. And but here, if you see import, we have import. No, in this program, there is no import. Here we have import. No. Here you have see. This is the function. Sorry, this is the one file. Now they, instead of writing the whole code here, they have written the code in this file. This is a file. Java is a folder, util is a folder directory, and array list will be the file name. So they have written the file in this file and then calling the functionality somewhere they're using it. Are you understanding? But in Python, you'll have include. Python include another Python file. Okay. See here also import is being used, include also is being used in Python. Include somewhere in the middle actually. Import and include. Is this not a file? Different file actually. Import and include. I think this is also import. Let me check. This is another way to importing it. This is one more way to say here import is there, include also there, so this code is not there right now. So these are the two things is being used. So let's sum up the stuff. If you want to learn any programming language, first thing focus on learning the variable types, then focus on their operators, then conditioning, and then looping. Then it has come to the points where you have to do the you have to learn the managing the coding, large code. That is where you have to write into the function. Don't write the code just like that, write into the function. So it will be easy for you to call that each function, and reusing the code will be easier. After the functions, you have to learn to write into multiple files and use the import include, depends on which programming language you are using, and call these functions. Call these files class file. This is called class file now. So now next thing is how to package a program, because how many files you have? Hundreds of files. So let me ask you one thing, very simple question. If I give you Microsoft Office software which you wanted, and I'll give you 10,000 files, or one file which is a packaged format, which one will you consider? Tell me. Which one will you consider?
Package.
Package, of course, it's a normal. You must be thinking what stupid question I'm thinking. But it is a package. You have to package it. Don't give the program just like this. In the Java, there's a different kind of packaging we do. Python is very easy though. Okay. Okay. So in Java, we create a jar file. What is a jar file? So jar file will have this class file, multiple class file. But jar file will have only class file. But you required other packages also, like HTML file, CSS file. Jar files will not contain HTML, CSS, or some image file and all. So then in Java, they have called var file also. And this var file, you will deploy this to the Tomcat. Jar file also you can deploy to the Tomcat if you really want to deploy. But var file typically is a full software. Tomcat, and then run it. Simple. Tomcat will run all this file. Web server. Same goes with the Python also. So Python, we package using tarball or zip file and all, and then deploy it to the server. Because Python, that's not compiled language, interpreted language. So you can copy as it is and then run it and call the main file. This is main file. And this main file will do rest of the files taking care of. So did you understand that how to learn programming language, how to understand the skeleton and all stuff like that? All of you? Hello?
Hello.
Here,
Yes,
Hello.
Rajesh.
Okay. So with that, what I'm going to teach you. So I'm going to teach you Python today. I'm going to teach you types of variable, types of operator, how to do conditioning, how to do the looping, how to write a functions, how to put the code into the multiple files and call it from the main files, import and all, and packaging and all. It's very easy. You understand this is Tarwal and Jip and all. Okay. Now after this, I'm going to teach you something more, and this is called framework concept. Framework in programming language. Anyone have idea about this framework? Tell me. Framework concept.
Something
Yeah, Rajesh.
like skeleton.
Yeah, please go
It's
ahead.
basically some rules that we have to follow in order to make our coding look more efficient.
Okay. See, framework
Or can I do
is,
like a template?
yeah, template will be more easier, more relevant actually. So here framework, see here. First thing, understand this. Forget about the framework. Tell me, someone should guide you how to write a best follow best coding standard. Okay, that's one of the reason. Follow best coding standard. Follow best management. What is management I'm talking about? Same management here. This is the management. Where is that? Somewhere here I said, right? After learning all this thing, you have to learn management. Many people fail to do that. Many people fail to do that. How to manage the code, how to create a directory. See, this is my experience. I created this many files and this many directories. But many people keep it in a different way. See, I'll put it in this way. Each one of you desktop, if I look at it, will be in having different way. Some of you will be very managed one. Some of you will have a multiple files, multiple folders. So, but we don't want that kind of stuff. What we want the program directory structure should be consistent. Understand that, very simple thing. Should be consistent. No matter you are doing a programming for Infosys or Microsoft, you should follow the consistent directory structure. So that way, if you change the project, if you change the company, you should not struggle asking, hey, what you are storing. So if I go and work in your laptop, I'll get lost because I don't know which file, which directory you have copied the files. I'll get mad actually. And when I ask you, get irritated also. Okay. So we want to avoid it. So follow the directory structure, best consistent directory structure, coding structure and stuff like that. One more requirement which we have is reusing the code. Reusing the code means, see, many of you are getting scared of the programming. I know that because many of you have called us and asked, hey, DevOps is, I will enroll for the DevOps course, but if it is a coding required, then I will not do that coding. I will not learn the DevOps in that case. Correct? I think you know that whom I'm talking, right? Many of you got attached to me also, called me, and then same question you asked. But actually, you don't need to get scared of. It's very easy actually. Coding is very easy. If you only build one thing, which is called patience, little bit of patience. So reusing the code means what? So nowadays we are not writing a code at all. Yes, those days has gone actually when we were writing the code. Now, if you look at this, all the software, all the functionality, all the library has been built. Lakhs of library has been built already. What you need to do, you need to reuse the code. Reuse means someone else code, you are using it and making your software done. Okay, so this is called reusing the code. So that's one of the features which we wanted. Some of the features we wanted is like integration with unit testing. Unit testing means if you write a code, you have to write a unit test also to test that code whether it's working or not. Other functionality we wanted integrations with something like a DB connections. Other integrations with this one, queue services. Queue. I think in AWS services I did discuss it. SES means notification. Mail services. All these things we wanted. More integration we want. So these are the things. Integration with web server like Apache Nginx, or app server. App server means Tomcat, JBoss, WebLogic. So we want everything at one place. Why we want everything to be on a place? Because of peace of mind. I should write a program properly. So these are the requirements. When you start writing the program for the software, you need all this at one place in a nice manner. Are you understanding the requirement for the programmers? Are you understanding?
Yes.
So that is powered by framework. Okay, framework will provide you more or less these are the functionality. So that's the reason you must have heard about it. People are not writing the code in the core languages like core Java, core Python. No, they are using framework for writing the packages. So now the moment you use the framework, they'll tell you, hey, you have to follow only this directory structure and you need to copy this file here, this file there, and stuff like that. You will have so much of code already in the framework. Code means open source code. You can reuse you can download the more code from written by someone else and you just include or import. That's all. Just all you have to do, import that code and you've got a functionality. Just like I was showing you, right? See, let's say you wanted to have 10 features you have in this code. This guy just imported this file, that's all. And use that file. No need to write whole logic. Your lines of code will become hardly 5, 10, 20, 30, 40. So this is the kind of things. And unit testing and all other functionality. So that's where the framework is coming. Framework means Java language, Python language, PHP language, Ruby language. These all are having framework. All programming language have a framework, okay? All programming language has a framework. So which framework is very popular for Java? Anyone would like to tell me?
Cucumber.
Cucumber is a test framework, not a development framework. Testing, if you want to do automation testing, probably you can use for that, right?
Spring Boot.
Spring Boot, yes. Yeah. Spring. It's a framework. So now you will get scared. Do I need to learn the framework? See, first you wire your mind properly, okay? I repeat, wire your mind properly. Everything is easy to learn if you put your mindset in the right context. Sorry. So here, this is the Spring Boot framework. Most of the programmers, I would say not most, every programmers in Java, they use this framework. I mean, there are other frameworks also, but this is more advanced, more reliable, and lots of feature you have it. Lots of features. See here. Okay. So this is one framework. Python, we have a framework. Anyone would like to tell me?
Django.
Django, right? So this spelling mistake, I'll do that. So I'll just write. What is this? I always forget this spelling actually. DG, DG, yeah, DG, yeah, this is one. This is the most advanced framework, but there's one framework also we have in Java, Flask. Flask, why I'm talking the Flask? Because compared to Django, this is easy to learn. Okay, so all this functionality will be provided by framework. PHP, we have a Laravel. PHP also have so many framework, but Laravel is more advanced. So this is the one which you use it, Laravel. Versus, you see, coordinator, something like that. We have Ruby. Anyone? I think you might have heard about this one. World's most of the stable website is running with the Ruby framework. Anyone? Anyone? Have you heard about the Ruby on Rails? Sorry. Have you heard about it? Rails.
Yes. Ruby on Rails.
Yeah, that's a
ROR.
framework. Yeah, that's a
Okay.
framework. Ruby is a language. Rails is a framework. That's why we call it Ruby on Rails. Okay, Go language. We have a many more than 10 frameworks. Jin is a more popular if I recall. Okay, so why framework? Because it will make our developers easy to work. Everything you have in the framework, and you want to have a chatting functionality, call the library. Mailing functionality, call the library. CSS library, call the library. JSS scripting validation, call the library. Everything you have in the framework. So development become very easy, and that's the reason using the framework, people can develop a software within a 5 days, within a 10 days. I repeat, 5 days, entire software can be written. If you are having right mindset, if you have right will, and the fundamental is very strong, that fundamental means your programming language fundamental, then you can write in a few days only. Because framework has been developed not to complicate the duration of for software development. Framework has been developed so you can develop a software just like in few days. That's the reason they are there. Else, what's the use of it? So most of the programmer, they use the framework and they develop a software. Understood, all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the things which I wanted to share with you.
So, sorry, boss, I have a question. Majority of I don't know. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Well, from what I've experienced, and whenever maybe you go for interview and that has to do with programming language, even if you are like telling them maybe that you understand the framework, they will still want to test you if you really understand the main programming language behind that. So why that?
Okay. So there's no straightforward answer for this, but I'll tell you in my way. Let's say you are being hired for DevOps, and they may have some scripting experience or programming language experience. And let's say if you know, let's say out of this programming language, let's say I know Python, but I am not in a practice of Python every day. Maybe once in a while, maybe once in a 10 days or 1 month or few months, I write it, the Python, and then move on. My more or less work is depend on Jenkins, Terraform, Ansible, AWS, this, that, and all. So if they ask you questions to write a Python, they say, I know the Python fundamental. I have worked with the Python. I know Python core, I know function, I know this and that. But if you ask me to write a code without seeing the Google and reference, then I make a mistake because would make a mistake because I don't practice this every day because I have a 10 tools to take care of it. And I do take care of the priority work in my project, not the Python. So if you ask me to do that, I can write it, but you give me the assignment, give me the access to the Google, and I will write it and I'll give it to you. Okay, but if you ask me just like that, I'll write a few lines of code, but it may not be perfect. Make sense? Make sense?
Yes, thank you. It makes sense. If we do interview, we reason with you.
Yeah, you have to be genuine, and the other part also, people are genuine. They are not a superhero. Those who are taking interview, they are not superhero. They will ask you a question what they know actually, right? Okay,
Thank you.
so now let's get started with Python. So what is a Python? I think we'll discuss on this. So yes, if you want to learn the Python, no Python experience necessary. Some development experience is a plus, but not required. You can start from scratch also. So who should be using it? So anyone who wants to learn the Python. So what is a Python? So Python is a basically high-level programming language. It's a dynamic, readability, interpreted language, multi-paradigm, and stuff like that. This is the evolution of Python. So I must discuss here. Let me tell you guys, Python 2 versus Python 3 is very important. Okay. So Python 2, you will find in the most of the Linux machine installed. Python is installed in the most of the Linux. You don't need to install also. But that will be installed 2.9 or something. So understand that Python 2 is different than Python 3. Python 2 is different than Python 3, entirely different. Python 3 has been made with the latest technology, lots of machine learning, AI, cloud, and all this stuff, and game development and stuff like that. Python 2 was limited in those areas. So understand that Python 2 program will not work with Python 3 program. And same way, Python 3 program will not work in Python 2 program. So in why I'm discussing this slide more, because in Ansible also, Ansible, the one which I'm going to teach you, Python Ansible has been written in Python 2 also and Python 3 also. So remember that. So you have to take care of those stuff. Python is very popular. Okay, for sure, it's a very popular. That's the reason we are adding in this slides. So after the Java, the second programming language, which is very popular in the world of programming domain, is Python. So if you learn Python, that's a add-on actually second popular programming language you are learning. So that's the things. Okay, so I'll just not talk about too much. So you'll get lost. Yeah. So here you see that Python. These are the major application which has been developed using Python. So when you talk about web development, so Flask, the framework which I was talking about, Bottle, Pyramid, Django, Turbo Gears. Django is a framework, okay, for web development. Flask is the web framework for web development. That's one I said no just 5 minutes before. So that's a framework. Many application has been developed like a Plone, Django CMS, Magine, and stuff like that. This is the some of the things. Yeah, Python is very popular for big data processing also. Very popular. So that is also one of the reasons for that. Python is popular for machine learnings also. Python 3 primarily, okay, not 2. So machine learnings also is being used. Python is very popular for the network engineers. Very popular. So that is a one thing. So yeah, if you want to use Python, data analysis, web development, DevOps work and all, you see the third one, we use a lot. So system coding and some automation script and all, we use a lot. Web parsers also you can use it, machine learning and educational purposes. So these are the things. So yes, if you look at the Python use cases, we use in the web development, software development, database access, game development, 3D graphics, networking programming, education, desktop application, many more. Okay. So this is the stuff which we have. Now this slides also look at this Python 2 versus Python 3. So what is a pip? What is a pip? Anyone have idea? Pip is understanding is very important. What is a pip?
Sir. Hello?
Yeah.
Pip is the Python executor program, like such as CMD command.
Yep. So guys, tell me one thing. What is YUM? What is APT?
Yes. It's a package
Package
repository
manager.
management.
Okay. So see, I'll teach you in the conceptual way so you can have a memory. So you'll understand this. So every platform, okay, we have a package registry. Registry. Did I talk about the registry concept sometime in the last session? Registry, we have a repository. Yes.
Docker have something resist.
And repository, we have a package. Okay. So which is the platform? So RHEL platform, Debian platform, Android platform. Android, you know that, right? Apple platform, iOS platform, right? So now let me correlate this. Very simple concept. People should not get lost. Okay. So RHEL, what is the package registry? Maintained by Red Hat. Some URL is there, URL of Red Hat. And in that repository, we have Git repository and install the package called Git. Here it can be any repository, any packages. Debian, we have URL of some Debian, and here we use some Git pack repository, Git packages. Android also, we have some, just I'll show you, this will be easy for me. Play Store. This is the registry, play.google.com. Okay, this is the registry. And here you have a multiple repos. This is one repo, okay? USB audio player is one repo. So you'll have a repo, something you want to WhatsApp, and you have a package of WhatsApp. iOS also, there's a some URL for it and something. Now the question is, how do we install RHEL package in my laptop? So for that, we use a client concept. Okay, client. What client? So for RHEL, we use what? Anyone? Anyone? YUM. Have you used that, right? Then Debian, what we use? APT. Android, I will not tell you. Tell me. Android, I will not tell you. Anyone? I'm audible? Anyone tell me Android, how do we install the Android package? Everyone is using Android, right? Most of you. If you are iOS people,
Play
then
Store?
through Play Store, yes. Use the Play Store. Look at your mobile. Every day you are doing it. But how can you forget? That's a client actually. Talk to the repository, registry. And registry have repository. For example, this one repository, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each one of these has a package. So iOS also, what is this called? App Store, we call it, right? In the mobile. So now coming back to the point. So here we have a language also. Okay, language. So which language? So we have a Java language. We have a Python language. We have a PHP language, like that. I'm just giving you a trend. So they have registry. What is a registry? So here you will have a registry which is Java one, I'm telling you. For there's so many registry, okay? For Java, there's so many registry. One of these I'm telling you. This is repos.maven.apache. This is the registry. Look at this, thousands and thousands of softwares are there. These all are free software available, managed by Maven. Like that, so many registries are. So, okay, we call it Maven Center. Okay, Maven Center. And then how do we install it? So client for installing this is Maven. Okay, Maven will do this thing. So Python, what is the Python registry? So let me go for the Python registry repository. This is a PYPI. This is the one. What we have? Look at the number. You read the number. How many free projects you have? So don't get scared. All these project programs has been written. Just you have to integrate it. Okay. So if you want any projects to be, let's say here, let's say something chat functionality. So many chats are there. You go and try which chat you want. Okay. But the question is, how do I install it easy way? How do I install any modules? This is called modules. Okay. Easy way. Now you got the answer. Why? What is a pip? All of you?
Yes.
Pip is your client. And if you want to install, download this software, chat software, the one which I'm accessing, download. So pip is your client. Same case, same case with the PHP. We'll have a composer repository. So many things are there to make the life easier. Okay. So here, this is the composer registry, package gist. Okay. So from here, you can install the composer and download it. So pip, what is pip? So with the pip, you learn many other stuff also. So will you remember this trend, all of you? Hello?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you're a programmer, Python programmer, and you want to download the free code, which we want to enjoy from this PYPI, then you use the pip. Pip for Python 2, Python 3, pip 3. Okay, that's all. Now Python is executable, which you know that. Using that, all the programs should be executable. Python 3 for Python 3. Remember all the time. Okay, and IPython is an interactive program where you can interact and write a program and learn that. So yeah, pip, you should use the Python 3 for time being. Okay. Interpreter we have REPL is basically call out the Python code within an interactive way, and natively also you can learn this. So what is the Python? First step, you have to go and download the Python. From where? Python.org. And how to download, how to install, more or less all of you understand that, so that's not difficult things. Okay. If you want to install through the Windows, I did not mention Windows and Mac. So Windows, the repository is NuGet. I don't know how many found, managed by Microsoft. Okay. This is the registry. And then you use the NuGet client here. And Windows, we have one more, which is more popular than NuGet. That's a Chocolatey, and Microsoft Windows. You have to type like this, yeah, chocolatey. This is the one. And for that, you use Choco. Okay. And then in Mac, we use a brew. So now probably you will understand this slides easily. So if you want to install any package in the Windows, you can use Choco, install Python. Python is installed. Mac, we install Python 3. Python install in Mac. Simple. Okay. So you understand more or less this one, some documentations and stuff like that. And that's all. So pip you can use for installing the package, uninstalling the package. Very well, you can do that. Okay. Done. Okay, so Now, next one is functions. So a little bit of introduction. I'm skipping most of this. I don't want to discuss too much. So it'll become a 5 days of course, but I hope you're getting it. Now, here, these are the things which you need to learn right now. Data types, flow control, loops, dictionary, and stuff like that. So which are the data types we have? Look at this. In Python, we have many data types. And by the way, it's not strongly typed data types. So you have if you get into the category of numeric, you have integer, complex, number, and float. If you go in dictionary, I showed you Boolean, true, false. If you go in the set, if you have getting the string, list, and tuple, you have it. So let's look at it in a different way. So immutable data types and mutable data types. So mutable data types in Python where the value is assigned to the variable can be changed. Okay, these are the types of variable, but these are the variables which you can change at. And immutable means you cannot change. Okay, so list, dictionary, and sets. So that means that same variable you cannot change, but you have to create a new variable for that. So that way. So immutable and immutable, remember that. So immutable is number, string, tuples, and mutable is list, dictionary, and sets. Now, many people like to put it in the primitive and non-primitive way. Primitive means which has come from the legacy of Python. And over the period of time in the Python 2 and Python 3, it got added, non-primitive. So here primitive means which has come from the legacy, the integer, string, boolean, float, and non-primitive means list, arrays, files, tuples, and sets. Look at this is a list of complete things. Okay, so integer, float, string, boolean, non-primitive array, list, tuple, dictionary, set, files. Against if you go into the data structure side, stack, queue, graph, and tree. Anyone have studied this linear, non-linear stack, queue, graphs, and tree in your college day? Data structure topic?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yes,
Yeah.
Rajesh.
So same thing which we have in the data structure, it will not leave you in any programming language. Okay. Now, how do you represent that? That's important. So one slide will give you the answer for everything. So number, you look at this carefully. How do you represent the different types? So look at the number, look at the string. Okay, look at the list. See that list and dictionary. The list is in a square bracket and dictionary in a curly braces. Okay, and whereas you see the tuples is in the parenthesis. So that way you can create a memory pointer accordingly. The moment you see in the parenthesis, square bracket, you see this you can call it list. Every members of the list will be separated by colon. Okay, and here in dictionary also every members will be separated by colon, but it will be in a form of key and value format. So key is a food, and test is your key is a food, test is a food, and span and yum is your that. Tuples, you have one and also again separated by comma. Files, you see that. I'll show you that some of the code for that. Sets and other stuff like. So this is the way you can represent the variables. Look at this here. This is one of the way to put it in the other language and in Python. You can compare the Java versus Python. So because why we say it's strongly typed, because any variable you declare in the C++ or Java, then you have to declare the variable. For example, answer is equal to 42. So you have to say whether answer is integer or a string or what exactly that is. So this call sometimes it will become a overwork actually, but in Python you don't need to worry about it. Whatever answer is equal to 42, name is equal to whatever, automatically it will understand whether it's integer or string. Are you able to understand that Java versus Python? All of you? Strong type versus loosely coupled.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how do you represent the numbers in Python? So this is integer, float, and complex. 1.25 is a float, remember. Now, this image, the one which you're seeing, you will have when you call the Python interactive, IPython. Okay, So RPL and all, if you call it, you'll be able to run the code of the Python on the console itself. Though will not try, but it's good to do that. So add numbers. See here, follow my cursor. Def means what? Definition of add numbers. Add numbers is one function. Okay, parameter A and B, printing A plus B. A is a one input parameter for the function. B is an input parameter for the function, and plus is the operator. So this one function is been written in memory, and you are calling this function again. 5, 11, 16. 5 something, and you see unsupported operands types. Why? So here something is not a cannot be used for the plus operator. That's the reason something is a string which you are passing. So they will show you some error. Convert that into integer string, whatever it is. So like that you can do that. So we understand the types of variables. Now we need to understand the operators. Which are the operators which we have in the Python which is supported. So operators like arithmetic operator, assignment operator, comparison operator, logical operator, identity operator, membership operator, bitwise operator. So if you're getting scared, don't go for too many. At least learn arithmetic, assignment, comparison, and logic. Remaining things, just you can ignore it. As you become a good programmer over the period of time, you can go into that. So this is a good chart actually. You must look at this. So here you have a arithmetic operator on top, relational operator in second, and comparison operator and relation operator is the same, and assignment operator. So you have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, power. All these are, you have a description, and then you see that how to use it, expression. So this is how, and the results you get. The relational operators also, you can see that how can you use it. Assignment operator also, you can check this out. So I'll not drag too much, but I'm just making you comfortable with it. So look at this use of operators. So this is a, look at this here, how to use it. So this is the first line is comparison operator. Is equal to, see here, equal to, check both the values are equal. So this will return the true and false. See here, always return value. Look at this, true, false, false. So if the condition is met, then true. If not, then false. So tell me one thing. First line will result true or false? Just guess. I know that you guys have not done the coding, but based on the guesses.
I think false.
Anyone else?
It will be true.
False.
Okay. So here I'll tell you the two messages I want to pass it from the first line. First thing is string you can declare in the single quote also, double quote also, and triple quote also. That is a funny thing in Python. But use cases, see the value is same, but use cases are different. Okay, so right now I'm not talking about. So yeah, it will represent here first, and this one will return true. This first one and second one return with true. But this three one, which is three code, basically this is something we call it. See this something we call it to line up multiple lines and all. We use the three codes. I'm not able to recall that name, but it's in every programming language, and that is called. Just a second. I'll just triple quotes. No, this is called. If you want to put multiple string in the file, separate by space or line, then you can use the triple quote. What we call it, multi-line is okay, but there is one keyword actually for that, not coming, but that is what exactly. So yes, here it will be true. First one, second one will be false. Now tell me second one, hello dot capitalize this one is hello. Is it true?
It is false.
False.
And hello replace EA. Is it true?
Yes,
It's true.
true.
is alpha
Yes, true.
and digit.
True.
Yeah. So like that. If you see that here, split is a function. See, look at this very carefully. Capitalize is not a nothing but a function. Repeat, I said no function. You can use anywhere and transform the results. Capitalize, replace is alpha, is digit, split is function. Now you say who has written this function? So let's understand this way. Function is nothing but a code, list of code, which will take some input and give you output. So there's a two kind of functions. I'll teach you that one also. There's a built-in function, means it's developed by the Python itself, and you can develop your own function also. Same way, both are same way. There is no difference, and you can use also same way. So when you can blindly use the capitalize, because it's a built-in function. This function has been developed by Python itself, so you can use them also. And here you see string format functions, and this I want to show you very carefully. Look at this, name is a string, machine is a HA. Now here in the you are formatting it. Okay, this kind of code you see that format is a function. Okay, so how you are formatting it? So look at this. Nice to meet you. Curly braces 0 dot I am curly braces 1. Format name and machine. So name is, see, format is a function which can be used with a string only. So format first parameter will become a set as a curly braces 0 1. Second parameter curly braces 0 1. Curly braces 0. Machine 0 1. If you have one more parameter curly braces 2, like that. So what it will print? Tell me.
It will print nice to meet you, Python Bo. I am HA.
Correct. So this you can puzzle also. You can refer. So you say if name and machine, you can curly braces 1, you can print first. Curly braces 0, you can print later also. But this name will not change. So this is a format is one function which will help you to format your string output. So you can use it. So understand that. F is the shortest way to use this. This is the shortest way. This is a traditional way. This is the shortest way, latest way. Okay, here we have a use of Boolean. True, false. Okay.
Rajesh, how do you declare characters in Python then? Like in Java, we use single quote.
Character, I mean, I said no string type, double quote, single quote, double quote, you can use it. Okay. And if you want to display numbers, that directly declare number, automatically Python will understand it's a number, integer. So in again, I'm telling you, Python, Java, we declare every variable type. In Python, we don't do that because it's a loosely typed language. Okay. Okay, so let's understand that. Tell me, Python course is what type of variable?
Boolean.
Let's say if I put the true into the double quote, then
String.
next, yeah. Remember that. Those kind easy to write. Now look at the line number 3. I want you to focus on line number 3. Here you have integer Python course. Here int is a function actually. Okay. Here int is a function, and Python course is taken as an input. So Python course value is true. So what int will do? Int is a function which will convert the true, that Python course the value is true, into the integer. Understand? Convert into integer. And true means it will print whatever it is, 0, 1, 1, and then equal to 1. So what I'm trying to say here, how to convert the type. So if you want to convert something into Python integer, use integer function. If you want to convert something into a string, use the string function. So you can do that also. Alien found and stuff like that. Now list. I'll just directly, instead of theoretical thing, I'll just show you. Look at this. So now list always in the square bracket. Okay. Now you see that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the element, we call it element, and this is the whole things list. Each one is separated by comma. So it's a 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And how do we call the list? See, the list, name of the variable, list is a variable name. And what is this 0? Tell me. This 0, the cursor you are seeing, right? What is this? What do we call it? This 0?
Index.
We call 0.
Index.
It's index actually. So index in the list start with always what?
0.
0. So the element is 0, but the index is not visible here. Index is also 0. Elements can be anything, but index will be always 0, start with the 0. So see here, list 0, and this is index, this is the value. This is the index, this is the value. This is the index, this is the value. This is how you call. Look at the right side, little interesting. If you say list index 0 colon, that means everything after the 0 should be printed. See here, the tricks. See, left side you know that problem, but right side important. Okay. If you say only colon, it will print also everything. If you say 2 to 4, so 2, tell me index 2 is equal to what? Two is equal to 2. And 2, this is a range actually. Colon is a range, 2 to 4. Here also range, 1 to 3. Here you say start with everything, but up to the index 4. Up to the index 4. Remember, that's the reason is printing 3. That means not 4. So understand this way, it's a range. So this is the way also in Python you can use the list. This is also interesting thing. You can have a negative index also. I don't want to complicate, but yeah. Index P 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Value is P, R, O, D, E. Probe. But negative index also, if you want to use it, -5, it will return P, -4, index, R, and accordingly. Okay. So this is also done. Look at this. There's an empty index, an empty list, and there is a list with 3 elements: Mark, Katrina, Jessica. Okay, here you also see that if you want to call it, there's a list on top. You want to call it is equal to Mark, then it will print true, true, true. No. Student names index 2 will correct. Man, yeah, correct. Yeah. So this is also you can do that. You can change the list elements here, and so why you can change the list? Because it's immutable. There's something which you cannot change also, and immutable. Look at the list function here. Multiple list functions. Get comfortable with it. So there is one list: Mark, Katrina, Jessica, and if you want to add new element, 0 is Mark, 1 is Katrina, 2 is Jessica. Okay, so here if you want to add a new, that way you cannot add it. Okay, Homer element 4. So how to add it? There is one function is been given. So here we'll do that. Here you can append Homer. So here line number 2 you cannot do that. But if you want to append new element to the list, you can use the append function. Add to the end. Okay, so now if you are printing line number 4, your list will be Mark, Katrina, Jessica, and Homer. Okay, this line is little interesting to check whether some element in your list or not. So here you use the element. In is a fixed, a student name is the list of variable name, and is equal to true. So Mark is in the student names, it will return the true. if you len is a function which will take that list as the input, which is the list name, a student list, and it will return the value of value in terms of number of elements. So like that. How do we work with the slicing of list? So look at this here. There is a one list which is marked at Rina Homer, students underscore names, and here you are slicing after the one, whatever it is. So slicing the mark from the list. Here you are putting the slicing is same thing. We see that, right? Starting the element number one, I mean index number one and -1. That will display the category. Here, how do you print the list? So print is a function, and it required your list name, and with the index you can print the list also. Okay, so now we have understood the different variables and operator types. Any questions so far? Now I'll show you some programs also, and these programs will help you to understand how can we write it. So Python. Yeah. Okay, so we'll have to complete each and every programs. I'll explain it to you. So look at this here. First thing, how do you comment in the Python program? Are you able to understand? Hash. Now, I just said, right, 3 quotes. Do you remember that? Hello?
Yes. Yes, yes.
So this is the 3 quotes, yeah. So how do you comment? Hash. This is the 3 quotes to display the multi-line code action. Okay. So this is the multi-line comment, line number, blah, blah, blah. So you can represent this one. Now, how do you print any variables or string? So hello, print is a function, built-in function, and hello Python. So let's copy this whole things together. And I'm creating one directory here. And py directory. And what was the name of the file? File name can be anything, but just I want to be in sync with, so that way it will be easy for me. Copy paste. So here, this is the Python program. And I have installed the Python already. That's not a difficult thing. And here I'm going to copy. This is the one hello world program. You see that I'm using the Notepad++. This is the comments, multi-line comments, and this is the stuff. So I'll open up my command line. And how do we compile? So Python hello and now there's some error. Python is not found. Python was installed in my box. Okay, so no problem. I think I have installed, but it's not set in the path. Last session I did without change. So let me check this. So go to the C drive, tools, Python. Here it is. Python 3 is installed, and Python is there. I have to set in the path environment. I don't know how come it got removed, but it's okay. Let's set this. So I'm going to set in the path environment variable. It's there actually. Okay, I understood the problem now. So it's, let me check Python 3. No, it's not detecting at all. It's there in the environment. Let me stay. I don't think so. This will be a problem. Let me check with the bash. Maybe some issues with my system. Python. No. Okay, so there's a problem here. So let's do one thing. I'll fix these issues in break time. So let's grab one break. Grab your tea, coffee, restroom, and personal calls, and come back in 15 minutes. By the time I'll also fix these issues and continue doing that. Okay.
Sure, Rajesh. Thank you.
Yep. See you after the break.